Hi, everybody. So today we are going to look at the artist Georgia O'Keeffe and kind of see how she sees the world. And one of the things we're going to notice is that she likes to get in really close to her subject. And one of her favorite subjects is flowers. She gets so close, you almost feel like a bee buzzing so close by that you're ready to land on it. You can't even see the edges of the petals. You don't even see the full center. It just fills the space completely. So I wanted to show you this because if you're thinking about looking through a camera lens, when you zoom out, you might see the whole picture of the flower where you see all of the petals, you might see the stem and the leaves. And now imagine if you were looking through your camera, beep, 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 up close, and now you start to see just the flower head. Some of the petals go right off the page, right? But we still see the tip. We're going to zoom in just a little bit closer like this. Look at how I can even see the center, the seeds in the center there. Look at how those petals go right off the page. So if I were drawing it, it would be almost like the petals continued all the way back here, right? Just like that. But I stopped it because I was working on my piece of paper. Let me just wipe that so I don't forget. Okay, so let's look at how we're going to create this up close view of the flower. You can see I used so many bold, beautiful colors, and I wanted it to look like the grass in the background. I even showed you some of the little veining on the petals. If you have a chance to look at a real flower, try to look at the flower so up close, so close it's almost touching your nose, and look and see what it looks like. Is this the only flower in the world? Is this the only type of flower in the world? No, there's so many types with so many different types of centers. Some are really big with skinny petals, kind of like this, although that's not really big in the middle. Some have long petals, some have petals that are more rounded, so maybe it would be like this, and the petals are more soft and rounded, and they kind of circle around. But notice how these are still on the page. They all fit within this shape. Your challenge is to create one so big that the petals go right off the page. You can't even see the edge of them. They just get cut off from our view. So that's what we're going to do here. So you can see here, I just chose long petals like this, and I just repeated them. I even tucked a few behind them. So I use those long upside down V's, those quotation marks, right? And then I just did part of the circle. So a semicircle that's coming right off the page. That's one way of doing it. The other way is you could just make the center so big. Maybe this time, instead of drawing it on the side like I did, maybe this time I'm going to do that circle in the middle. Remember how I warm up my hand to get started? And then I made my circle. It's not perfectly in the center. That's okay because we're zooming in. And let's say I go like this. Like the petal goes right off, I imagine, and continues over to here. And I'm going to do this. Hey, it's kind of like our gumball machine and our snowman and our so many things we've done. But I'm going to do the same thing here now. Up, oops, up. I'm going to pretend I'm still writing, and over. And I'm going to do that all over. Up, oops, move it down. Up, right off, down. Just be careful if you're working on a table to make sure you don't, draw on your table. Up, over, and finish it. I'm even going to squeeze another one in here. It's going to go up, over. It's going to look like you can see part of it there. So now that I have my flower, you can see that these petals go right off the page. And I want it to look so close. I'm going to draw like little lines that look like part of the veins. You can add as many as you want. I kind of like the way it looks. It gives it some feeling, like I could feel that petal. You can do whatever you like for yours. And maybe you don't want to make your seed center like this. Maybe you have a different approach. There's so many different kinds. You could make it like a design. You could do a circle and a circle. It doesn't have to look totally realistic. And maybe I'll do a circle inside this circle. And maybe I'm going to make diagonal lines and diagonal lines. Did we do that before? Yep, on our ice cream cones. And maybe I want to do something different here. Maybe I want to make circles. Maybe I'm making it a little bit realistic and a little bit abstract. Your choice. And maybe I want to make kind of like this. I don't know. I just had a feeling that this would be something I'd like the looks of. Curvy stripes. Curvy stripes. So my other one looked more realistic. It looked more like seeds. And this looks a little bit more abstract. More imagination. There we go. And now I have to think about what color I want to use. So you can see here, I did my background green because I wanted it to look like grass. And I could even go back and I could add other colors on top of it. I could go, what if I kind of used my other green on top of my green? I have my oil pastel, so I'm using dark green. And right away, that gives us a little bit of what we call texture. It's not so flat looking anymore. Almost looks like the seeds or the grass. It's like the ground is hairy. I like the way that looks. I'm going to keep doing it all around on my greens. Just little dashes like there's grass growing. And so you're going to decide what color background. Maybe you don't want to do. Maybe this time, instead of a green background, maybe I'm going to make mine look a little sky colored, like as if I'm looking up close at the flower, and I'm actually going to see the sky in the background. So very carefully pulling my bristles, pull, spread the paint out like this. Ooh, beautiful day. Look at that color of that sky up here. And I want to get into that tight space, so I use the side of my flat brush and I can spread it out. Oh, look how rich it looks. Looks like it's getting a little darker in my sky there. I might just use a little bit. Even here, I have some more blue for my sky. Now, you know, there are so many different types of flowers. I just showed you one type, maybe two. I did each one a little different, but these even, there's so many. Look them up. Look for pictures of flowers. Don't just draw what you think you remember. That's kind of what I did. I'm going to show you some Georgia O'Keeffe style flowers. Some of her flowers, it's hard to even tell it's a flower. It's so up close. If you have a chance to see a flower up close and you're not allergic, go take a peek and see what it looks like so up close. I think this time, I'm going to make my petals yellow. And then I can always add some more. I can also do something like this. I might take a little orangey yellow and go over my lines. Oh yeah, kind of like it. And then when I paint the yellow and the blue and the orange are going to look so beautiful together. Remember, orange and blue, they're complementary colors. So much more to be done, but I'm going to move on to my yellow. Uh-oh, I didn't clean my brush. Have to rinse it, have to wipe it. See what happened? I got a little blue on top of my yellow, but I'm not going to worry too much. I'm just going to move it around a little bit. It'll blend. Yeah, it's a little bit yellowy green, but that's okay. You know, in nature, a lot of times it's a blending of color. And I like to use my flat brush because look at how I can fill that space so quickly when I hold it like that and I pull it. Need a little more water. It just fills it so quickly. And while it's wet, I could even go, hey, what if I added a little bit of orange here? Oh yeah, look at how it blends and mixes. Kind of love that. Looks like the sun is shining on it. So when you get started with yours, you can pick whatever colors you want, however you'd like to add it. Mixed media. We have some real collage artists here who love to work where they cut out paper and they put together their beautiful piece. We have people who like to work in markers, in crayons, in colored pencils, and sometimes somebody likes to work with all of them at once. I used my oil pastels and my paints, but I could certainly add, maybe I'll do marker in the center. Keep an eye out for it when we're in class together, okay? So have some fun.